Hey, cool, so that works actually a lot better, in spite of how crappy this flashlight is. So, the beginning of this is kind of looking for the source of that water down there. There's actually quite a bit of water. And it's actually very disturbing to me because the amp is right here. And there's often a lot of power going through the amp. So the first thing that I did was shake my fist at the airplane. So the first thing that I did was I was really suspecting that it might have something to do with this, which is the power antenna hole. And as you can see, there is a tad bit of water in there too. And there's also a hole down there, actually, that is inexplicable. I'm not sure why it's there. So, unless it's normal, which it could be normal, because I've never had a Trans Am before. So, this is all the wiring and stuff that goes under it. This all actually connects back to the amp over here. But you can see the power antenna is kind of iffy. It wasn't really ever in place, apparently. So I just pulled the whole thing out and just said, screw that. The intent is to eventually have this car go no radio, no spare, and kind of with as little weight as possible. It'll have the rear seats hopefully removed as well, which they're all leather, which is kind of a shame because, you know, it's not bad leather. It's still Pontiac leather, but it's not too bad. So this is kind of the inner workings back here, and I'm really honestly suspecting that most of that is going to disappear with the amp removed. Now, obviously there is some cabling that's required to hit the lights, which are back here somewhere. I can't really turn my hand to the right angle to show, but that's where that's going to go. So I started digging all that stuff out, and I did remove the spare tire, the jack, and the mounting hardware for it. Mounting hardware is just kind of mundane stuff, but it had to come out. And something that's essentially weightless is the what's it called? Cargo cover. More like the T-top cover in the Trans Am. But the other panels that got removed were these speakers. And like I said, the speakers are pretty light, maybe 5 pounds tops. And those were removed from over here, and you can see where they kind of went in here, right there, and right there. Those are HID lights, cool. So those were removed altogether. It was they weren't even plugged in, honestly. I don't know if the guy originally wanted to plug them in or what the whole point was of that, but a little disappointed right now with the water leak and the you know, the shoddy power antenna job. And oh, so the last piece that I mentioned was the subwoofer that got removed, and that was here. And it actually fit pretty well, and the box is over here. It's actually a custom box. It was made out of MDF, this cheap, crappy stuff. But I did remove the box, and that's fairly weighty. I'd say it's about 10 pounds, maybe a little heavier. But as I said, all of that was removed from the back. So these tires here are running on about 20 pounds, 30 pounds reduced weight. So we're actually gaining some oversteer, possibly. What an interesting thought. So, and I shouldn't ramble as much. I'm not very good at this, if you can't tell. So I'm going to stop rambling right now. But that's the, for me, that's my record. I've removed 2 speakers. Going to remove some of this hardware in the back here concerning the power antenna. We'll probably just remove the power antenna altogether and plug that. And this is also, you know, concerning the water coming in. So that's the, I'm guessing that that's where some of the water is coming in. There is a hole down there that may be where some more water is coming in. But I still haven't found the source of this rather large amount of water here. So, for the record, Mr. Norton came over. He's a friend of mine, and we both looked directly at the top here because there's nothing over here or over there that is as wet as this, as completely soaked. And yes, this is the lowest point in the car, but nowhere else does it seem wet. So we're actually turning our attention up here to the hatch glass, up in that area right there. And considering that that may have a leak somewhere. So enough of my ranting and raving. This is my 99 Trans Am and the beginning of what may prove to be a very long and drawn out process that takes a lot of money. So, have a better one.